Hello, my dears. Today I want to delve deeper into the phases of tidying up and resting. That's how I always refer to this progression of depression phases. So the dark phases, where you feel depressed, I call tidying up phases. And the lighter phases, where you feel like a somewhat normal person again, I call resting phases. And what it's all about and how this tidying up actually works, that's what today's video is about. Welcome to Soul Tapping. Tidying up phases and resting phases, what are they? I refer to tidying up as the inner tidying up of the soul. That means when you are in a dark phase, it's the phase where all your old issues come up and are presented to you. That's why, for me, it's the phase where you are called to take care of your healing. This means, first and foremost, that you seek help, that you find therapists, and not just one, but keep seeking help until you reach your goal. It can be a long, zigzag path where you experience a lot of nonsense, where you might also meet people who didn't help you. But I've talked about that quite a few times before. On a certain level, the person you turn to always helps you. Even if it's just a little bit, even if it's just to find out what you want and what you don't want. So, look for therapists, coaches, alternative practitioners, doctors. Read books, watch videos, you're already doing that. So, go down this path. Inform yourself, get really smart about what depression is all about, how it works. Learn techniques like tapping, meditation, yoga, all these things. That relax you. That calm you down, like autogenic training or progressive muscle relaxation. There are so many techniques you can learn that can be helpful. You can also go to an alternative practitioner, get some remedies, and so on. And then take care of your issues. That means you will most likely encounter situations in the dark phases that challenge you because they trigger your old feelings. This has a good purpose. It is meant for you to clear them up. Clearing up means, in this sense, that you might not suppress these feelings for the first time, that you don't distract yourself, that you don't stuff yourself with pills, alcohol, or anything else, with food, but instead, you let these feelings come up. Sit down, feel, breathe, tap if you like, and allow. Allow, love yourselves, embrace yourselves, and endure that the feeling is there now, because then it will disappear on its own. Only if you suppress it will it keep coming back. If you allow it, then it disappears and goes away. Like peeling an onion, one layer at a time. Then it means mindfulness in everyday life. That you really observe yourself closely. When you catch yourself falling back into some pattern, like saying yes and amen or being nice and kind to someone when in reality you're not being authentic, and all these things. That when you experience something like this, when you might have been annoyed with yourself, or something like that, that you do it again, and I didn't want you to, that you then sit down again in the evening and take half an hour. Just for yourself, where you let this topic come up again, reflect on it, maybe write about it. Writing is also very, very healing. Writing down your feelings, then they are out of you for a while. Yes, so that you also take time for yourself in everyday life. For your inner work, that you do tapping rounds. For example, soon with my online course, when it will eventually be finished. Or things like that, which are truly work on you and your issues. Occasionally getting help from therapists, alternative practitioners, or coaches, and doing the rest on your own. Cleaning up doesn't just mean going to the therapist once a week, telling them how bad you feel, and then going home. That's not cleaning up, that's just speaking out. That is also important. Not to be underestimated is also very important. But cleaning up means doing even more. Namely, doing it when the opportunities arise in your everyday life. So that's basically it. Yes, and continually practicing and learning acceptance and self-love. letting all that be and still loving yourself and accepting that it is the way it is right now. And when you practice it like that, it is exhausting and it takes a long time. But it will be crowned with success, because eventually, the next phase of exclamation will definitely come. And it's called the exclamation phase because you don't have to work on it, yes, but you can simply enjoy your successes. And you can just live. And also, yes, be out in the world. And you don't have to constantly deal with your problems. So clients often tell me, I felt so good in the last 3 weeks, I didn't tap at all, I already feel quite guilty. Then I always say, no, that's great. That's wonderful. If you're feeling good, then enjoy feeling good. Instead of artificially bringing your problems back up when they're not relevant right now. Yes, so being in the flow of life means that you work on yourself when it's necessary and rest and not work on yourself when it's not necessary. If things are going well in your external life, that's wonderful. You can still make use of these phases of rest. You can use them, for example, to say thank you. Gratitude is an incredibly important feeling. It's one of the 3 main keys to healing that I described in another video. And it's incredibly difficult when you're feeling down. Being grateful, feeling the emotion of true gratitude, is very hard then. But you can do this wonderfully during the bright phases. Not just writing gratitude lists, but also feeling them. Always saying thank you, thank you, thank you throughout the entire day. Being mindful, nonetheless. Not focusing on problems, but on beautiful things. Or you can focus on your future. When it comes to perhaps bringing changes into your life. In the really dark phases, that's not possible. You don't have the capacity for that. You're just glad if you make it through the day. But during the bright phases, you can take advantage of it. Just take the time to explore what possibilities there are. Can't I somehow turn my hobby into a career? I don't know, but you can focus on the future, because during the bright phases, that's possible. You can use this phase to do all these wonderful things, to look forward to the future. Imagine, visualize how awesome it will be when, a year from now, if everything has gone optimally, what you will tell yourself, write yourself a letter. For example, from your future self in a year to your present self. What will you tell yourself in a year? Tell yourself, if everything has gone optimally. So, do things that really bring you into good feelings, that bring you into full joy, into gratitude, and all that. That's something you can do during the exclamation phases. That's what they're for. The most important and decisive phase in this progression is the moment and the bright phase ends and the next dark phase begins. This is a very delicate, sensitive moment because you had just gotten so nicely used to things getting better. You might have even thought you had made it. And it would have been the last bad phase, and then you're completely shocked when you fall back into the dark phase. That can happen. It can happen at any time. It can happen suddenly. It can also happen without a trigger. And the biggest mistake you can make then is to struggle with it and think, oh no, what did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? What did I do to deserve this? Why do I have to go through this again? And I already thought, It's completely normal. The progression of phases is normal, and it's also completely normal that during the bright phases, you can't even imagine that you could feel bad, and that in the dark phases, you can't imagine that it will ever get better again. That's something completely normal. And that's why these crashes are often so intense. That's why they feel so intense. You feel like you're crashing all the way, back down to the beginning. And everything you've tidied up until now is null and void and has achieved nothing. That can be the feeling in such a phase, where it falls from bright to dark again. And it's very important how you deal with it. That you don't judge yourself, that you don't torment yourself with questions like, what did I do wrong? You didn't do anything wrong. So, if something triggered this dark phase, it wasn't to annoy you, or because you did something wrong, but because it was time for it again. Your subconscious is infinitely intelligent and knows exactly what it's doing. And it knows exactly that you have rested enough now. You have gathered strength, recharged your energy. And you are now ready for the next layer of the onion. Yes, it's a completely natural process. Don't beat yourself up over it. It's totally uncomfortable, of course, but you only make it worse with your own thoughts. Yes, if you belittle yourself for it, or if you ask yourself questions like, why does this have to happen to me again? I'll never get out of this, but you will get out of it. Roll up your sleeves and let's go. Keep cleaning up. There's still plenty to do. It really comes in layers. It comes like onion layers. Every now and then, for quite a while, a few onion layers come every day. Then there's a period of calm, and then there's capacity free again, space again. And then the next onion layers come. That's normal. That means you don't have to control it. You don't have to understand it either. You don't have to understand everything, why it's happening to you right now. It's okay that it's happening. Accept it. That's completely normal. I hope you can still hear me. It's so windy here all the time. I want to make another remark. If you are very, very affected and have very strong depression, then it might be better for you to do this process the other way around. That means that you use the bright phases to work on yourself, because you can't manage that in the dark ones. So with very severe depression, that doesn't work. You're so deep down in the dark phases that you're not able to work on yourself, that you can't concentrate, watch books or videos or tap, or all those things. You're really just glad if you can get through the day. Then it can really make sense to turn it around. And because in the bright phases, you at least feel well enough that you're in a state where therapy is possible and you have enough strength to work on yourself. You have to figure that out a bit for yourself. You can't just categorize it like that, saying you're this case and you're that case. Figure out what feels right for you. The important thing is simply to accept that there are phases for working and phases for resting. And I believe that this is the greater purpose of the cyclical nature of depression, because you can't accomplish everything at once. And everyone has small breaks in between. There are also these small mini breaks that can occur within the dark phase. If you have good moments within the dark phase, then enjoy them, use them to give thanks. Thanks, thanks. Don't just let them pass by. That is very important. Okay, I hope I have been able to roughly explain to you what tidying up means. This is the path to healing, out of depression. Of course, as always, feel free to like my video, subscribe to my channel if you want to support me. You are also welcome to visit my website, www.seelenklopfen.de, or join our Facebook group titled Love Yourself, because you are wonderful. Take care, my dears. Goodbye.